Good evening and welcome to World in Focus. From British warships tracking Russian vessels in the English Channel to a deadly airstrike in Beirut that sent shockwaves through the Middle East, and political friction inside the White House, the world is sending clear signals of strain. And as governments maneuver, millions of people in India's capital are struggling to breathe through air so toxic it's now considered deadly. Let's begin with the top headlines of the day. The UK's Ministry of Defence has confirmed that a patrol ship shadowed and then intercepted two Russian vessels, a corvette and a tanker, navigating through the English Channel. According to the MOD, this comes amid a 30% spike in Russian naval activities in waters near the UK over the past 2 years. The British patrol ship HMS 7 monitored the Russian corvette Stoiky and tanker Yelnya before handing over to an unidentified NATO ally of Brittany's coast. It's yet another sign that Moscow is increasing its presence in strategic maritime corridors. On Sunday, Hezbollah publicly confirmed that Haitham Ali Tabatabai, a high-ranking commander and deputy to its Secretary General Naim Qassam, was killed in an airstrike in the southern suburbs of Beirut. The group described the attack in Heightening as treacherous, calling their lost leader the Great Commander. Tabatabai's death marks the highest profile Hezbollah loss since the 2025 ceasefire, raising the stakes in an already volatile region. In the US, Zohran Mamdani, the incoming mayor of New York, did not back down from his earlier criticism of President Trump, despite the two sharing a friendly meeting at the White House. In interviews aired Sunday, Mamdani reiterated his complaints that Trump behaves like a despot or fascist, even as the pair acknowledged some shared goals during their high-stakes conversation. Tensions between them remain inescapable, but their civil exchange sends a clear message: politics in America is far from predictable. And now to our deep dive. It's that time of year again in India's capital, when the air turns thick, heavy and almost tangible. New Delhi's 34 million residents are all too familiar with smog season. The pollution hangs low, stings the throat and tests the lungs. This isn't just seasonal discomfort, it's a public health disaster. The iconic Red Fort in New Delhi, once dusty red sandstone, is now turning black. That physical transformation isn't just symbolic, it's proof of how deeply pollution has entrenched itself across the city. Decades of plans to clean the air haven't worked. New Delhi's governments have pledged action for years, going back to the mid-1990s. But those promises often fail to hit their mark, especially during winter, when cold air traps smoke from traffic, crop burning and fireworks. This year's response included a high-stakes attempt at cloud seeding. Small airplanes flew over the city, releasing silver iodide and other compounds aimed at triggering rainfall. The goal was simple: wash away the smog. But experts say success depends on having the right cloud conditions, and those conditions weren't there. According to scientists involved, the moisture levels were simply too low to generate meaningful rain. Despite 3 cloud seeding attempts, the efforts fell short. Officials had planned more but suspended them after disappointing results. Experts warned beforehand, during cold winters, even if rain forms, it may evaporate before reaching the surface. On the ground, people are angry and they are demanding more than symbolic gestures. Protesters have taken to the streets, calling out what they see as government inaction. One petition in the Supreme Court even declared the pollution crisis as a national public health emergency, criticizing reliance on temporary fixes like mist sprayers and anti-smog guns instead of targeting the true sources of emissions. And the air is not just bad, it's deadly. Air quality index readings recently climbed into hazardous territory according to monitors from IQ Air, putting New Delhi at the top of global pollution lists. In fact, a 2025 State of Global Air report estimates that nearly 30% of worldwide deaths linked to air pollution in 2023 occurred in India. In response, Delhi has enacted emergency measures as part of a graded action plan. Younger children now attend school in a hybrid model. Non-essential construction is paused and the most polluting vehicles are barred from the roads. But for many, these steps are just temporary bandages on a deep wound. At India Gate over the weekend, protesters marched insisting that their leaders stop ignoring them. Water sprinklers hum across major roads in a literal attempt to wash the city clean. Yet for many residents, it's never enough. Public pressure is mounting, but the sense persists that no amount of rain will solve a crisis that requires systematic change, claim experts. So that's all in World in Focus for today. Follow the Finance 360 for more.